Do I have to introduce ourselves? Okay.
It's traditional.
Traditional, let's do it.
Hey, this is Bryan and Sam from Paramount. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how we grow and how we scale our staff and do it so that we don't suck as we keep growing. Because that's a big thing, right? Like we are good because of our brand, because of our values, because of what we represent. And that has started with me and then Sam and our tight-knit group of people. But as we keep growing, we have to hire more staff. And it's really important that we don't lose that sense of who we are when we put someone else in front of a business that's not one of us. One of the first things we focus on is hiring for personality. And I know that's super cliche. Everyone's going to say that. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people are just like, we get to fill this spot, so we're going to fill it with the first body that comes in here. And that's not how we operate. Because if you don't like the person you're working with, if you can't trust them, if you don't think they're authentic, if you can't see yourself coming back and talking to them month after month, then it does us no good and it does you no good. So we really focus on that stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that you can teach clinical skills, you can teach the on-the-job stuff that we are all trained in school to do, right? We expect those people to come in with a baseline of that kind of stuff, but we can help them hone in on that. What we can't do is create people that build relationships with other people here, our staff, and then our clients, right? And that's super, super important, is we want everyone to feel like a family member here. So if someone comes in and does an interview and they don't feel like they fit that family mold, we don't try to mold around that. We respect our values and we expect them to respect those values as well.
To Sam's point, I mean, I know people in PT school that were great, I mean, very, very smart, but personality-wise may not have been easy to relate to. So we can teach that part. And that's kind of step number 2 for us, is once we get the right person in here, how do we onboard them? And most PT clinics, most training facilities have some kind of mentorship or onboarding program. And it usually consists of about a 1-hour lunch with your mentor, and then maybe asking them 1 or 2 questions over the next year as you get bombarded with caseload.
Yeah.
And for us, that's not the case. It is always ongoing, but it is very intensive the first really 6 to 12 months, where we have stuff laid out on how we're going to train you. And Sam can talk a little bit more about that because he kind of leads it. But we don't want mini Bryans and Sams running around, but we do want people that represent us in the same way and think the same way and stuff like that.
Yeah, again, those we want everyone that comes in here to have a similar feel when it comes to interacting with clients and things like that, right? So giving everyone those tools to have in their toolbox, we want everyone to have a really well equipped toolbox to pull out when they need those skills, right? And learning how to apply it is a big part of that, right? There's a reason and a method behind everything that we do, and understanding that our staff understands how to use those tools appropriately is super important. So the thinking comes from our discussions every week in we call it clinical reasoning and therapy. How do we determine to treat those patients the best or those clients the best? And that comes down to, like teaching people how to think in that way and how to, clinically appraise what's happening in front of them and decide what the most appropriate course of action is. But again, those skills can be trained, those skills can be taught, and that's really important, that once we have that right person, how do we make sure that they have the skill set to match what we expect from a values perspective as well, right?
Yep, so now we know we have the right person from a personality standpoint. We've taught them the clinical didactic stuff they need to be able to be a good provider. The last part is investing in them as a person and helping them grow, specifically from a leadership standpoint, because everyone in here is going to have a responsibility to be a leader at some point, whether that's one-on-one with your person or your client, or it's working in front of an entire business and owning that relationship, or working your way up in the company, because I don't expect anyone to stay where they are. As we grow, people will grow with us. So we need to give them the tools of how to think, how to talk, how to interact, how to challenge things, how to have crucial conversations. So we talk about trust accelerators, we talk about conflict and how to see that as a positive. We talk about positive accountability, all these things. These are constant conversations here, because it doesn't help if just our leadership team talks about this and is growing. Everyone needs to be growing with it.
Yeah, and I think that really speaks to the fact that we want our employees to grow as people as well, both in these doors and outside those doors. The exact same thing that we do for our businesses that we work with and every client that walks through our doors. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others, right? Others might be your family, it might be your colleagues or whatever it might look like, but we want everyone to have all those opportunities to lead themselves as well, and to be the best version of themselves here, so that they can be the best version of themselves for whatever else they need it to at home, right?
Yeah.
I know that I've called you out in the past if I saw Bryan walk in and I felt like I could tell he was off or something like that. Not because I'm inherently frustrated with him for that, but because I genuinely want to help him lead himself in that moment. And sometimes we all need those reminders. So again, we talk about sideways accountability and assuming the best intentions, all of these things that make us who we are here at Paramount. We live those out every day, or we hope to live those out every day. And we use those as ways of communicating to each other effectively, right? So this is my opportunity to tell him that when I give him a hard time, it's not because I'm frustrated with him. It's because I know how much people invest in me here, and I want to give that back to the people around me as well.
And we have high standards, and people better live to those standards. And we have those same standards for the companies we work with, and they have those same standards inside their companies. That's why we fit so well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how we do it. Again, it's important because we need to represent Paramount with every single person that steps in this building and outside this building that works for us, because we want to give you the best, interaction with us and results possible.
Yeah. I mean, how can you, as a company, how can you make sure that you're doing what we're telling you here? It's stick to your values, stick to your guns, and understand what is important to you guys, and make sure you hire around what those values are, right? You can't always train all that. You should see some of that from the start, and I think that's a great place to start. So.